And also a lot of people in the music industry now that seem to be converted into the secret society movement and the Freemasonic thing. They flash this symbol. Yeah, now this symbol could be actually a symbol for this year, 2012. Yeah, because what we have in this symbol is a 2 here. There we go, there's the 2. We have a 0 there. We have the 1 here. And we have another 2 here, just around the other way. So some people, I mean, you could say that is for this year a symbol. So this is why a lot of these things are happening. It's a special year. Lots of things are predicted for 2012. Yeah, and they didn't happen in the Western 2012. They're happening in the Ethiopian 2012. So what does that tell you? Yeah. Now, if you rearrange these symbols or numbers, they actually spell Zion as well. Yeah, if you turn them around, there's a Z, there's an I and an O, and if you turn that around, that's an N. Yeah, so that spells out Zion too. So all these signs are just signs of the times. Okay. Now, I wanted to share with you all a dream that I had many years ago now. A dream that was, how many years? Maybe, I don't know. Was it 15 years ago I had this dream? 16, 17 years ago. It was a long time ago. Before I knew anything about what I'm going to talk about, because this dream was a dream about seeing many moons in the sky, and what I saw was different sized moons, what looked like moons, and some of them were big, some of them were small, some of them were crescent moons, some of them were half moons, and all in all, there was a handful of different moons in the sky. Now, the reason this stuck with me is because it didn't seem like a dream. It was so real. It was unbelievable. When I woke up startled because it was so real. So it always stuck with me. I didn't know what it was, but I'm finding things about global warming agenda. And have you heard about Planet X or Nibiru? Yeah, I'm finding that this might explain that dream, because apparently if there is another planet out there, this 9th planet or 10th planet, whatever they call it, Planet X, it's supposed to be 4 times the size of Earth. It's going to have this great pull on all the planets in the solar system, which would explain, or could explain, what's going on now with pole shift, with the strange temperatures, and all the disasters and things that are going on. So I just wanted to also share that some people think that this planet is not actually a planet. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the Vatican sphere. If you type it in Google, it's made out of bronze or brass, and it's outside of the Vatican, and looks like a big metal eye, mechanical inner workings. But this may possibly be a model of the planet X, or this. It's not actually a planet. Some people say it's a craft. It's a spacecraft, like something out of Star Wars. Big, huge planet-sized thing that houses lots of different UFOs, basically. And if you look at the Vatican sphere on YouTube, this actually looks like something like that from like those films. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying to me, it kind of is a sign that it's real. So I know people that call themselves like the Black Freemasons, yeah? And the way they look at it is like, you know, that the white Freemasons are running things and they've took the black man's knowledge and it's should for black people, it's a secret.
You know, so let me go ahead and clarify some things. This is a message to the whole world, and this is the proof that the date is serious, okay? Now, before I get started, let me clarify some things. When people say the 11th hour, they're talking about the last possible chance to do something. The 12th hour means the end of something. The 13th represents a new beginning. Okay. 13 in a 24-hour clock is 1 o'clock. You can also call this the first hour. The 12th hour is the last hour of any day and the last possible chance that anything can be done about something. The 11th hour represents nearly the end. Now that you understand that, I can explain more about 2012, okay? This is a skull and bones picture of 1947. George H.W. Bush is the one that's next to the clock. He is always talking about a new world order. Now, if you take skull and bones and spell it the other way around, you would get two numbers. You would get 11 and 23. You see how them numbers are hitting in them words? 23 in the 24-hour clock is 11 o'clock, and 11 in the 12-hour clock is 11 o'clock. Skull and bones representing the 11th hour. Now take a look at the picture. These guys are making a triangular formation with the knee joints. The one man has his hand on the table, similar to the famous Freemason symbol. Now you see how the skull is also on the table in the middle, and the clock is in the picture. Take a look at the Freemason symbol. It doesn't have a clock, but it has a square and a compass. The clock is replacing the square and the compass. These are both tools of calculation. The skull is in the middle of the table, along with the G. The G is the initial, and it can be confusing because it's an initial and it can represent anything that begins with G. You may have heard that the G stands for geometry. Some say God, and there's a few other words out there, but in this case, the G stands for Golgotha. Golgotha means place of the skull. That's why the skull is there. It's in the middle of the table, and the G is here in the middle. G stands for Golgotha. That means place of the skull. Now the clock is also in the picture as a reminder that time is running out. can't you see how these pictures are all similar? Both these secret societies know each other. Now, what started the whole 2012 thing is something called the Mayans calendar, an ancient calendar that, was built supposedly 5,000 years ago, and it ends December 21st, 2012. Okay? Now take a look at these pictures real carefully. You see the triangle formation. The clock is in the picture as a tool of calculation. The square and the compass are also tools of calculation. The G is in the middle for Golgotha or God. The skull is in the middle of the table. Now, let's take a look at the Mayans calendar. Do you see the similarities? Whatever the Mayans knew 5,000 years ago, your own government knows. So now you see how the orders come together, okay? That's your proof that 2012 is significant in history. Now, what would happen in 2012? That's not important. What's very important is preventing what's going to happen in 2012. It's so funny that I've been trying to tell people the truth about a lot of stuff, and I've been telling people to subscribe to this channel for information on how we can help our own planet. But people rather, watch videos. I mean, if I made a video of two dogs having sex, the whole world probably want to watch. But people don't want to hear the truth about their own humanity. So, subscribe to this channel for further information, because I'm only showing people what they need to know. And, you'll go from there. Now, if you can see right in front of you are the proof about 2012. Look at the Mayans calendar. The skull is in the middle of the calendar. There's no clock. There's no square compass, because the calendar itself is the calculation tool. You see how that Mayans calendar are hidden in these symbols and pictures? Now you have the truth.
But these guys actually believe that or teach, they have some ancient tablets and proof and stuff that this planet is not a planet, it's a craft. Yeah? Nibiru. And it's coming, and it's supposed to be on an orbit of 3,600 years, which is 3 sixes if you look at it that way, which is a satanic. So for me, this Nibiru is this craft, if it's a real phenomenon, is to do with the antichrist and his fallen angels. It's a planet that's been made by the fallen angels because they can't create the real thing, so they just made some metal planet for their beings that they've created illegally in the eyes of Jah. And until the judgment day, they will be thrown into hell. But up until then, they've got free run of things, so they're doing what they're doing. So this Nibiru planet, or this planet X anyway, the scientists say if there is a planet, there's talk of that. And the ancients had it mapped out. The ancient Sumerians, they had it before Galileo and all them man knew anything. They had it mapped out in stone. There's the ancient planet there. So I believe it's real, because these people back in the day knew more than the scientists now. Scientists now are trying to hide the truth. This planet is out there. This craft is out there. It goes the opposite way around the solar system than all the other planets. Yeah? So it's kind of again, that's like antichrist. You know, it's anti-creation. It goes the opposite way. It's 3,600 years, 360s. So all points towards satanic. Yeah. Now, I don't know if people are up to the times with what's going on. Alien abductions and reptilians and greys, aliens. When I first heard about it years ago, a friend of mine mentioned the greys. I thought he was mad because I'm a firm believer in the Bible, and I didn't think it was mentioned in the Bible. But in fact, it is talked about. The Nephilim are in the Bible. These are giants. These are aliens to us. So they were alien creations, and basically the fallen angels from creation wanted to be, or Lucifer, they say, wanted to be like God himself, wanted to create his own thing. So God says, if you're supposed to do what I tell you, but if you want to carry on and do that, at the end of time you'll be put into a place of judgment. So Lucifer chose to do that with the free will from the Father up until the judgment day, and he's got his fallen angels doing it with him. So they've made their aliens. They're all out there, demons we call them, and they will be put in the fire, lake of fire, at the end of time. So we don't need to worry about that. But you know, there are people being abducted by these things, and they're doing the same thing. They're taking sperm, they're taking eggs from the people they abduct, and they're making more bodies for their spirits to enter. Yeah, they just use our bodies as a vehicle, you know. They're genetically engineering bodies, just like they show you in the films, in them big tubes and all them something. Yeah, you know, like I says, the films, like, you know, that 2012 film, the disaster film, is showing you what's going to happen in 2012. A lot of those things in that film have happened this year in 2020, you know. So they're showing you things, you know. They're showing you things. It's the sign, you know. The signs are there, people. The signs are there. You know, I've seen shape shifting going on. Presidents, politicians, shape shifting on the TV. Yeah, as in their face is changing, going on scale, getting scales as they're talking, and their eyes change colour as they talk. They go from brown to blue to green. They're always doing this lizard lick thing. You know, I'm doing it sometimes. We do it as humans, obviously. It's natural to lick your lips when the lips are dry, especially if you've been smoking. So don't be fooled by that one. But yeah, the main ones is the eyes. You see it in the eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. You see some people's eyes turning into lizard, as in a lizard slit down the middle of the eye. Now I can see these people clear on the TV.
Pay for all of this. It is worth it, not only to track missing troops, but to be able to tell friendlies from enemies on the battlefield.
Brian Todd reporting for us. Such devices, by the way, are not...
Pay for all of this. It is worth it, not only to track missing troops, but to be able to tell friendlies from enemies on the battlefield.
For war, there are also tools that could keep all of us and all of our families safe. We saw that back in February when
And I've actually seen one in real life, people. You can see this phenomena in real life. I've seen it in front of my face. Somebody I know, I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody I know was talking to me, and I noticed that they wasn't blinking for about 5 minutes at least. They didn't blink once as they was talking to me. Yeah? Now this person has told me many things and showed me things about these fallen angels. That's what he follows, the fallen ones. But he doesn't see them as the fallen ones. He sees them as gods. Yeah? And he tells me that my God is the devil, and his God is God. Yeah, the God of the Bible is the devil, he thinks. Yeah, he's one of these black Freemason people, you see. Yeah. Now, this guy shape-shifted in front of me. His eyes. He didn't blink for ages. I pretended that I didn't notice. And then after a while, I kept on watching, and his eyes blinked from the side. Like a lizard. Yeah, I know what I saw. Straight up. And I had to pretend I never noticed. And just hold a straight face. Yeah? But I seen a man shapeshift in front of my face. So I know this thing's real. Yeah? Whether it's a possession of a demon or man's real lizard man, I don't know. Yeah? But all I know is a real thing. Boris Johnson, lizard boy. Trump, lizard boy. Barack Obama, lizard boy. In fact, he's the king of them. King of the lizard. King of the reptile boy. Snake. Yeah? Barack Obama is the one. The one with the bow and the crown. That's what they put in the press office picture about him. Yeah, there's a lot of things that show that Barack Obama is the antichrist. And if you look into it, it's just endless information. I'm going to do a separate video on that because that's long. There's a lot of stuff that I need to show you that I've seen that proves it without any doubt. Yeah, that he is actually the antichrist, the king that will come back to rule the world. Yeah, so look out for that video, people. That'll be an interesting one. Anyway, I'm going to leave it right there. I've been speaking for long enough. Jah guide, Jah bless, one love.